All right, let's go ahead and open this guy up. Nothing much to this box. Simply have a bag with the whammy bar, cable, and an Allen wrench. And this one has the gig bag. Looks like there's also a strap and a pick. Super cool. I'm glad it came with a strap. I'll just keep it in the shop. And I'm not sure this cable's long enough, but I could probably use it for other things. And then here's the actual guitar. I gotta say, even for 78 bucks, I'm still always super excited when I unbox a guitar. Wow. So really light, just light. I don't know what this wood is made out of, but it is light. Maple neck. I don't know what kind of nut that is. I'm going to assume plastic. Tuners feel fine. Pretty good. Take a look here. You can tell that they've been leveled and crowned, but not polished. Interesting. There's still a plastic on the pickguard. All the chrome is shiny. Contour belly carve in the back. Plastic black dots. All in all, I can't complain. Can't complain at all. I wanted a shop guitar. I have the shop tube amp that I built. I wanted a guitar that could stay in the shop. So this is gonna stay here. I'm gonna hang it up here, set it up in the corner. It'll always live there. It's light as a feather. Like, it's so light. I really can't believe it. The whole point of this is to not have any money into it, to not have a large investment in it, and to go ahead and let it rust and rot in here if it needs to, just to have access to a guitar. And that's the whole point of these cheap guitars, accessibility. Can't complain. I'm not gonna mod it. I'm not gonna swap out the pickups. I'm not gonna do anything really, except maybe quickly, when I change the strings, polish these frets. And not polish them in the terms of how I normally polish with a custom build. I'm talking go in there with, like, you know, some steel wool. That's it. I'm not gonna do anything else. In any case, this is exactly what I was looking for. Shop guitar. I mean, I can't complain. Who would complain about this? I mean, it's a guitar for $78. That's the whole point. I don't want to invest time or money into this. It's just going to sit in the workshop. And it'll do the job. And it'll do the job well. It's another tool in the shed. Like that file there, or that chisel over there. It's just another tool. It doesn't have to be fancy. I'm certainly not going to put one of my customs in here. I'm not going to put any of my pieces from my collection in here. It's got to be something like this. And I'm not displeased with it. It's just a cool Strat. Really dig it. All right. That's this new shop guitar. Cost me 78 bucks, free shipping, $78. Can't go wrong with this. I never wanted this to be a review. I bought this $78, $79 guitar to be a shed guitar. I wanted something that I didn't have to really think about or care for to live in my shop indefinitely. And that means being in there without any type of climate control, but it meant having the accessibility of the guitar whenever I needed it in order to test circuits for amps, in order to test circuits for pedals, just to always have that guitar there when I needed one. Basically another tool in my shop. And obviously I didn't want to put something in there that I built or that I had some connection to. I wanted something that was going to be relatively inexpensive and something that I didn't have to really think about. And that's where this came in. So these days, it doesn't matter where the CNC lives, whether the CNC lives in Austin, Texas, or somewhere in the United States, or in some other country. The CNC doesn't care. And these days you can dial in a lot of the quality that we consider to be part of quality control. You can dial that into the CNC machine. So all those things that are important about a guitar, like the alignment of the neck to the bridge, all the hole placements, the neck pocket, the very important center line, that's all done with CAD and CAM these days, and the CNC knocks these things out. So really what we're talking about now when it comes to quality control is just tiny little details. There are no sharp edges on these frets. There is no fret sprout. The wood did not shrink or expand. Nothing. Let's look at these frets under magnification. Let's look at all those scratches. Let's listen to it. Let's hear my demo that I recorded in a full mix. Let's also try to flip our perspective and change how we think about guitars coming out of China and what we think about $78 guitars, because it is not something to be afraid of. It's something that we should be embracing and exploring as builders. Let's check it out. Okay, so here you can see on that fret scratches on the side. The whole fret is scratched from the very bottom of one edge to the very bottom of the other edge. You can see all the scratches. So I'll just reiterate again, this is a leveled and crowned fret job. There are no high spots or low spots. It's a well done job, but the part that was skipped was the polishing, which makes perfect sense, right? Because that's a very time-consuming part of it. So the only thing that I replaced, and I didn't have to, were the string trees and the nut. And that's only because I'm spoiled. There's no reason why anyone has to replace those two items. Although I'm sure you can think of 1,000 reasons to replace them. I had these on hand. I didn't go out and buy them. I just have a stockpile of tiny little bits and bobs. And so I replaced these with GrafTech, and this is also GrafTech nut. I just literally set it in place. I didn't have to like file it down or do any work. It's just a drop fit. And I believe that using this GrafTech system really does help contribute to the tuning stability and also the use of the tremolo bar too. So you can kind of wang on it all you like, and these things slip and slide, and it's just a joy to play. And the other thing I need to talk about is the finishing on these guitars. The finishing of these guitars is flawless. Like, for $78, we as guitar builders can't compete with this finish. Yes, maybe you can make a polyurethane finish just like this and you can buff it out to a perfect shine. Maybe you can do that. But you can't do that for $78. And that's the other thing. Thinking about this guitar as a whole and as raw material, $78 gets you all of this. And that's kind of incredible to think about. Remember the days when the cheapest way to get a guitar was a guitar kit, and now guitar kits cost something crazy. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much guitar kits cost, and they're not even assembled. These guitars are finished and assembled, and it's less than a guitar kit. So I'm not really looking at this as a guitar. I'm looking at it as raw material. And for $78, you get a lot of raw material, including a finished body and a leveled fretboard. It kind of puts into question what we're doing as guitar builders. We live in an era of automation. This is the age of automation. And that's how these guitars are able to be made so inexpensively, because we're able to take the human element out of it and automate all these processes in factories. And as guitar builders, we need to be hyper aware of what's going on with that automation. Now, guitar builders are not going to be obsolete. As long as there are guitarists, there are going to be guitar builders. Simple as that. So we don't need to be afraid of the $78 guitar, but we need to be aware of it, and we need to be able to learn from it as well. So this is not a review. This is a revelation of this revolution, because these guitars are not going to get worse. They're going to get better. Like, we're almost in the age of the disposable guitar. $78. You could take this to the beach, lay it in the sand, in the salt water, lay it in the pool, and just leave it there. That's the age we live in now. A guitar this good can be taken anywhere without having to worry about it. You can throw this in the trunk of a car and not have to think about what the heat is doing to it. There's so many possibilities that we're not thinking of, but I'm thinking in terms of building guitars. Like, what can I do with this material that's super cool? And it's just, again, much like kit guitars or like springboards to be kind of inventive and innovative. These are the new kit guitars. You can take it apart, cut it however you like, do whatever the heck you want with it. It costs $78. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.